Well, hello, Meet the Movie Press fans and Schmoville out there. How the hell are you this morning? I am Mark Reilly, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, JTE. What the hell, man? I'm always hearing this wonderful opening that they do that I love, that the Ian Snyder and I love, and it's not there. Sorry, guys. Thanks for joining us today on this fine Friday. Look who's next to me.
Who?
We got Kristian Harloff here. Head Schmo, Kristian Harloff of AMC Movie Talk, schmoesknow.com, far away. He is here. He is co-hosting with me. I get to turn the tables and actually interview him.
Wow.
This is awesome. Thanks for coming, my friend.
Yeah, of course, dude. It's so long. Even when you and I were talking about this show, before it was even born, we said one of these days I got to come on here and talk to you about it, and here we are, Schmoville.
Yep, it's absolutely true, and I've been wanting to have Kristian on because, as you guys know, this is Meet the Movie Press. There's a lot of stuff happening out there in the movie press world, and Kristian's a part of it. YouTube is a legitimate news source now. These personalities that go into the world off of YouTube, your success from the Schmoes Know YouTube page has brought you to a lot of subscribers. What are you guys at now?
We just hit 136,000 on YouTube.
Jeez, that's good.
That's
good.
Yeah.
And then that led to, obviously, you're doing Far Away over at Geek Nation. Mm-hmm. You're on AMC Movie Talk. You've done junkets. You've been to set visits. I mean, and guys, the history between me and Kristian is deep. We met waiting tables.
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Jeez,
yeah,
it was pre 9/11.
Oh man, long time.
That's a long time. We would wait tables. We would BS in the corner about Star Wars before there was during the prequels, I guess.
No, it was after the prequels.
Was it after the prequels?
It was after the prequels.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we would we started a great friendship there, and it's continued on, and now he gave me this chance to host Meet the Movie Press, and now I'm so lucky to have you on, my friend.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, dude. And the news that's out there, and just the fact that I know there are a lot of people, we get questions about it all the time in the YouTube spaces, and people who want to blog and be in the movie space, and you can really turn it into something special because even just Mark and Ellis and I were able to. We got hired for every review that you see on Schmoes Know, you see movies.com beforehand. Movies.com and Fandango. We've been doing that for like 4 years. So it's if you put a lot of your passion into it, you can make it pretty special.
Yeah, and you guys are the poster boys for that. I mean, really. I mean, it was. Thanks, man. I've been there for every step of the way. I mean, I remember being in the car with you and your wife when you were coming up with the name. I mean, I was there. We were going to the beach,
right?
And that to me is a little insight on like how long I've known this guy and how much fun it was watching this brand take shape. And now here we are. Look at this spaceship we're in.
It's pretty awesome.
This is from Kristian and Ellis doing this. So
I guess that's a little scoop I could break for everybody else too, for fans of the network. Is that we're gonna launch like 3 or 4 new shows pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I won't say yet what they are, but in the next couple of months, there's going to be 3 or 4 new shows, and we have ideas to really do something very different. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, that's nice. Is JTE going to be engineering those shows, or because something's going on back there?
Who knows? I didn't hear. I heard you screwing around in the back.
Yeah. We have, I guess, the live studio audience back there is. I think they're waiting for the Price is Right back there or something.
Sorry.
All right. So, guys, before we get into this great show, man, we have a lot to talk about with the news that's out there. A lot of stuff going on out there, and we're actually going to drop an Age of Ultron scoop. On the show, on the site. So we'll get to that. I know you guys want to hear that. We're going to do some hopeful news break. But first, I want you guys to tweet my co-host, my buddy, Jeff Snyder, at The Insnyder. He is covering Sundance right now. Yeah. He's having a great time. That's a good one.
There you go.
There we go. Nice. And at The Insnyder, come on down. You're the next contestant on waiting in line in the cold at Sundance to review movies.
Yeah.
So, guys, yeah, go ahead and tweet the Insnyder because he's out there. He's kicking butt, and he was very excited to hear you were coming on. So he said that the show's going to be in good hands, which that's what it is. So let's start here, Kristian. Why and how? I know the answer, but you started Schmoes Know on YouTube.
Yeah.
You came up with the name in the car with Mark Reilly and your wife. And you got together with Ellis. Like, kind of start. How I know a lot of Schmovillians know this, but for those of you that watch Meet the Movie Press and want a little bit more information, how did that all start?
Well, Mark and I are both coming from stand-up comedy background. Mark's still doing it. I was, for a very long time, that's all I did. I would do I would be doing seven days a week, 2 shows a night. That was my life. And I was producing a pilot at the time. You can see on Schmo Plus. It's Grasping at Straws, which I did. And during that, I put Fat Ellis, when he was still a Fat Ellis, I put him in the show. And he and I were talking backstage and just kind of hit it off. And this girl that my old roommate actually used to date, she asked me to help her with stand-up. I helped her with stand-up. And then she moved to San Francisco, and she became an executive over at Current TV, which was Al Gore's network, right? It was online. And so she had wrote me at one point and said, hey, listen, we're going to have people, this is 2007, so we're going to have a bunch of people submit video footage to review these television pilots are out. And said, she was like, well, do you have anyone funny that that you could use? And Ken Knapsack wasn't available, so I called Ellis. And and Ellis came in. And we weren't on screen together. We shot it separately.
That's right. I remember that.
Sent in the footage, and they liked us. There was 15 or 16 people that submitted. They liked us. Then we went from doing TV to movies. Yeah. And then after about a month doing that, we were like, well, maybe we should do it be on camera together and review movies. And they're like, okay, cool. So we did that for about a year. Yeah. And then we had this whole thing that we were supposed to have a show with Rotten Tomatoes that fell through, and we kind of got screwed. And we're
wow.
we could either.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, it was this whole thing where the bottom line was that this girl, it was all set up. This girl had set it up. She was going to be executive on it. We were ready to go. We were going to host this show. I was Rotten Tomatoes, Current TV. Mark and I were going to host it together. And then we were in Alaska, and we found out because the girl had left. She's like, listen, something's going down with this company in general. She took off, and then we're like, oh, you know what? We had this deal kind of going down, so let's stick around and see what happens. They didn't even call us. We read it that they had put 2 other hosts in there for our show that we came up with, and they ran it. But it actually was the best thing that could have happened because we said we can either stop doing this or we're having fun. Let's just go to YouTube. And there were 5 people that were doing movie reviews at the time. Right. And so we said, well, let's do it. And we started in October of 2008, and just said, this is fun. And people, there was, I don't know, we had 100 subscribers when we started, and hey, 100 people are watching us. That's pretty cool. And and we just, the one thing that I tell everyone who starts in YouTube is to acknowledge your audience. Because if your audience likes what you're doing, don't just say, oh yeah, they like what I'm doing. Of course, I don't have to answer them back. Talk to them. Find out what they like. That's the beauty of this. That's why this is going down, because people right now in the chat room, they're there because they like you, they like us, and they want to talk. They want their opinions heard. And that's why we love reading tweets and all that stuff. Yeah,
I'm so glad that the Rotten Tomatoes thing didn't go, because who knows where we would be, even me. I mean, this is what's great, and
Schmoes wouldn't exist probably.
Yeah, it might not, and it's good news for us and the crew and everybody. The Schmoes, all the shows like Guilty Movie Pleasures, Jedi Alliance, Box Office Breakdown, DC, Marvel, all the good stuff that's out there, and Profiles. Which, God, Profiles just hit #1.
They're the best. They're so good.
That's so good. And guys, while we're on that subject, go ahead and subscribe to all the shows, including this one. Share it with your friends. Comment. That's what keeps the lights on. And we really appreciate you guys. Kristian touched on it. Schmoville is the greatest. The fans are the greatest.
And for Schmoville, what they should know also too, and I know that for you guys who watch the main show, that you're subscribed to the Schmoes Know podcast channel. I can just say this. Make sure that you are subscribed to that channel. That's all I can say. Make sure you're subscribed to the Schmoes Know podcast channel. Very important that you do that. Yeah, absolutely. So getting back into the creation of the brand, Schmoes Know, you guys then take off. I remember, I won't name names, but a certain ex of mine was very interested, why are they always sharing this? Why is this happening on Facebook? Why is that? And I remember saying it's because they're building something special. Yeah. And when that starts happening, when I hear a jealous person saying of your success. Tell me how you really feel.
I'm trying to keep it in and not Reilly rant, because look, Kristian and I have been best friends for years, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it's kind of a comment on what I saw happening, the magic that was happening, and this building of the brand, because he touched on it, talking to the fans, always having content going out there. And look what's happened now. You have 136,000 subscribers, and you've been doing the movie reviews, movies.com, all these different things. You asked Reilly to come in and do some Reilly roundtables for the website. And then I'm going to, since we have a lot to talk about, go into how did you start to get onto AMC Movie Talk? How did you get the Matt Reeves interview? Like some of these things that have happened for you guys that come off of your Schmoes Know YouTube channel.
Yeah. So, I mean, as in regards to AMC Movie Talk, I mean, that happened when we were on Toad Hop. We had Erin Darling was on the show a few different times, and she had just joined AMC Movie Talk, and we hadn't done the show. And Gray Drake had been on it a bunch of times as well, and they're like, "Hey, you should do AMC Movie Talk." I'm like, "Well, I've never met John before. I didn't know anybody over there too." And I said, "I'd love to." I watched the show a couple times, and I said, "I'm a big fan of Campy's opinions. I really do." And he and I see eye to eye on a lot of movies, and sometimes we don't, but we can argue really well. Yeah. And that's what but I didn't know him at the time, and we kind of exchanged emails here and there, and then he reached out. Amy Rose reached out, I think. No, that's not true. John reached out first and asked me first to guest, and this is in 2013, the end of 2013.
Wow.
And I was on, and I guessed, and then he asked for Mark and I both to come on, and then Amy Rose had reached out a couple times, and we just were being guests on the show.
Yeah.
And then I had seen something on Facebook to where they were looking for new crew members.
Okay.
And I had reached out to Amy Rose and said, "Hey, I'd love to be considered for." And she was like, "Oh, that's great. The fans react really well when you're on, and John's a big fan. So why don't you come in and talk?" And then John and I just had a really good conversation about it, and at the end we both thought it would be great, and it's worked out amazing. And then then Mark would come on and guest a few times, and then it's really worked out well over there because they run the ship. John runs a really great ship, and you talk about great fans. I mean, Schmoeville's great fans. AMC Movie Talk has some amazing fans.
I'm part of the fan page.
Yeah,
and I see you guys talking, and it's a great community, and it's nice to see the two communities working in harmony together.
Well, and you know what it is too, because I believe AMC has the same philosophy that we do, is that they understand how important the fans are, and like John and Amy Rose, they make sure that they're always they're shouting out to the fans. They take care of fans. He did that whole thing with that party with the fans at the end of the year where you can do live shows. You have to take care of your fans, and we're aware of that. John's very aware of that, and I think that's why that we're becoming people. It's nice to see that they go there. Like on Thursday nights, they come to watch us, and then every day you watch AMC's live feed, 2,000-3,000 people, and then each episode 30, 40, 50,000 people an episode, and there's a reason why.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's just awesome for, we all started this as movie fans, and we get to talk about what we love,
right.
And for it to take off, and I mean, we're essentially fans too, so it like you guys, we are working together, and we love talking to you guys, and I know that for a fact too. I love talking to you guys on Twitter, or whether it's on the site schmoesknow.com, or on Facebook on the Schmoeville page, on the AMC Sons and Daughters fan page. It's really great.
I'd like to spin this though back to you,
sure,
because
great, look at this. It's my own show.
It spits back to the Schmoes brand.
Yeah.
Because, and I don't know how many people know this story or not too, but the Schmoes Know website, schmoesknow.com, we started it in 2010.
Yeah, that's right.
And it literally was just a hub to where we would embed our YouTube movie reviews.
Yeah.
And they'd sit there, and I don't know, we were doing we were doing numbers that just like
whatever.
They weren't it wasn't meant for anything, just to find reviews by accident.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2012 when Mark Reilly joins the team, and Ken Knapsack and I were talking about the website, and to Ken's credit, Ken's like, "We got to do something with this website." It's just sitting there.
No, he was instrumental in this. I know where you're going.
Yeah, and Ken's like, "We've got to do something with this website because it's." And I said, "Well, what? There's a lot we can do." And then we all sat down, we were spitballing back and forth, and we said, "Let's get into the movie news space." That's what we. And Reilly, being a writer, we're like. Yeah, at first Ken was supposed to run the site.
Yeah, I know.
And then we went back and forth, and we said, we could really turn this into a movie news hub. And Reilly, I mean, you talk about a guy who's on, like, finding out what's going on, and that's the news story today. This is happening, and we did that. We got into the space, and we became a player in the news space in a year and a half. It's a big accomplishment, dude. And that's all because of this dude sitting next to me. Well,
I appreciate that. But, with that site, and I see your guys' comments, and wow, thank you, Kristian. Thank you guys. but it was a team effort. I mean, I just was in the forefront because I was sitting there behind my computer writing, but like it really took a lot to get there. And I had the meetings. I remember at my apartment, my new apartment, when I finally moved in by myself, I had Kristian over, I had Ellis over, I had Ken Knapsack over, and we had our great web designer, Luis Mendoza of the Mendoza Agency, who built the site.
Yeah.
And we said, this is what we want to do. I remember being at Toad Hop saying, we can really do this. And it just kind of took off.
It did. It's, well, you know what's great? So when I was at Comic-Con last year, actually, speaking of AMC, we had this suite at Comic-Con. There was the AMC party, and a lot of the industry was out there, too. And it was such a difference from the year before to this past year when I went there, and I was talking to guys from Screen Rant and from Slash Film. They're like, oh, Schmoes. Yeah, we know Schmoes. We know Schmoes. And, and they knew it because the thing is, there are ways, and one of the biggest problem in our industry is that there are some people who just put up stories for the clicks.
Right.
They don't pay attention to the audience, and they will do stuff to where they're just trying to clickbait or whatnot, too.
Yeah.
We have always made, and you and I had come to that understanding that what we wanted to do with our site was we will do something along the lines of, will this person be, we'll play off of a rumor that we heard, but it's not, it's fact. It's let's talk about it because we're movie fans.
Exactly.
And if there's something that could happen that is huge, we need to talk about it.
Absolutely. That's kind of always been the site. I mean, it's fun. We want to talk about these things. So even if it's a rumor, if it comes from another really well sourced, trusted site, and you know what, guys? What's awesome about Meet the Movie Press is that we've had pretty much everyone on from these wonderful sites: Collider, Slash Film, Screen Rant, Latino Review. These are the
Hollywood
sites.
Reporter?
No.
So can we talk on that real quick?
Okay, so a couple days ago, guys, we dropped a scoop, and let me start with this. I don't know if you guys know this, and I got to give you credit, Kristian Harloff. These scoops that we drop, me and Kristian talk about it constantly. He is the one that really kind of starts it off. Okay, I have my sources, he has his sources, we talk sometimes, but it's like when you see these scoops break, you know where it's most times coming from? It's this guy. And we talk about it. And so I got to hand it to you for that, because he's deeply in this business as much as I am. So we hear a lot of the same things. Then we get to what we want to discuss on the site. So bear that in mind. We get the Huntsman scoop.
Right.
Okay. We have a very, very, very trusted source, one of our close friends, and we knew it was coming. And I gave it to my managing editor, Alex Welsh, who a big shout out to that kid too, guys.
He's a beast.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
I love this kid so much. So go ahead and follow him on Twitter as well. Alex Welsh is, I believe, Never Say Die. Yeah, Never Say Die. He's a Goonies fan. So we get the Huntsman, and I'm kind of talking to Alex. I'm talking to Kristian. We drop it. We know that Frank Darabont is out. Variety reported that a few days earlier, but we knew who was taking over. It was official. We knew it, and we posted this. And then it was hours later, Hollywood Reporter breaks it. No mention.
No, and well, to be fair, the first thing I'd like to say, and I've done it on Twitter, and I did it on a personal message, is that I want to give an extreme apology to Justin Crowe over at Variety, because someone had sent me his article, and I normally I look at the bottom and it says to credit to, and it wasn't there. So I like an idiot, I go, hey Justin, what's going on, man? I thought everything was good. You've been on the show, and he was like, do you even read the article? It literally is the second paragraph where I say, as first reported by Schmoes Know. So I goofed there. However, for some reason, the Hollywood Reporter doesn't give credit to anyone. That is not anyone talking about, not Deadline. They give Deadline credit. They'll give the Wrap. They'll give the trades. They will not. It's like this old school thing. They will not give credit to blogs. They just won't do it. Like they won't do it. Like Latino Review, maybe every once in a while. I don't know, but for some reason, Boris Kitt will never mention us. And this girl, whoever there was, because to be fair, there's I want to say the guy's name is Oren. There was a guy over at LA Times who didn't give us credit. I wrote to him. I said, "Come on, man," and he changed it immediately and said, we like to give credit where credit is due.
That's nice.
We apologize. And LA Times changed their story like that. This girl over at Hollywood Reporter, nothing.
Yeah. And, we've talked about that with Jeff a lot. he was barely getting credited, and he's at the Wrap.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like, I get that it's competitive, but you got to be classy about it.
Yeah, and there is a shift happening that we've talked about. There, like, these people are starting to credit, and like, we got in good with Justin Kroll, and
I blew that though.
and Kristian Harloff blew it, and he'll never come on Meet the Movie Press again.
Maybe not.
But Snyder talked about it. Kroll talked about it. We talked about it with Frosty from Collider.
Yeah.
Frosty from Collider did a movement a few years ago where he said, you know what? F you guys. We're not going to give you credit now. If Hollywood Reporter breaks something, we're just going to report it, and we're not going to link back to your site, because that's what all the blogs do. And I'm very, very, very
all the blogs,
strict on this.
Yeah.
I always tell my writers, you got to go to the original source. I don't care if you see it on Screen Rant. Click on their source. Oh,
where did it
originate?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very important, because yes, credit where credit is due. And Frosty, I loved it. I loved what he was trying to do, and that was and that guy's a great guy over at Collider.com. He was like, oh, you don't want to credit us? You know what? F you. We're not going to link back to your site and give your sites the hits and give you the advertising money, because we are helping you. You're not helping us. We're reporting on your stuff.
It's like almost like the Hollywood Reporter for some reason thinks that they're going to stop the blog movement by not giving credit. It's like, work together, man. And that's why I give your co-host Jeff Snyder credit as well, because you may or may not know this story out there that Jeff Snyder and I went at it on Twitter. Like,
you
in the beginning,
absolutely,
we went at it, and it was this back and forth to where he was upset about some of the scoops that we were posting, and I was upset by the way he was kind of smashing the site, and we went back and forth on Twitter for a while, and then I said, enough of this. And I went to a buddy of mine who was a mutual friend, and I said, set up a lunch with Snyder so I can talk to this guy. And we realized we're both just East Coast dudes that are great. Like, we'll go back and forth on Twitter and say, listen, you go after me, I'm going to go after you. And we sat down over pizza. Yeah. And
extend the olive branch.
By the end of it, we were like, no, let's work together. This could work good. And then look, now he's a host on the network. And so there are ways that everyone you literally can work together.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. People are so competitive in this business. It's like,
it touches on something that I didn't really want to talk about, but it's interesting to me. There was a big ruckus on Twitter yesterday over a certain Twitter feed.
Yeah, I don't talk about them though, because I don't want to give them any credit.
I don't want to give them credit either, but I just want to say, because I got a tweet from somebody that was like, why are you knocking them? And listen, I'm just going to stick up for my colleagues for a little bit, because I saw all my guests on Meet the Movie Press talk about this yesterday. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. Every single one of them. And it's really unfair when we're working so hard, and we're working together now.
This is a blog. Credit. This isn't a trade.
This isn't a trade.
Yeah, this is a blog.
This is not even a blog. It's a Twitter. It's a Twitter feed.
Okay, so basically, they
just take whatever Jeff posts, whatever Mayambia posts, whatever I post, whatever you post, whatever all these guys post, and they put it on the feed. They take the essence of the story,
they don't give anybody
and they
credit.
Put it on the feed, and they don't give credit. They don't give a little wraparound to the site, and that's just not cool, guys. It's just not cool. So, so guys, when you're calling me out on Twitter saying that I'm unfairly treating this whatever it is, look, we work hard at what we do, so that's why I'm asking for a little bit of a little shout. That's all. Yeah. So look, we got to move on, guys. I want to talk about something. Every Wednesday we do a hopeful news break. That's right. Have you heard that? Isn't that awesome? Guys, I love it. Every Wednesday you drop in your hopeful news break. What do you want to hear out there in the blogosphere? What do you want to hear in the news, superhero news? Do you want to hear, when are we getting a Batman v Superman teaser? When are we getting more Star Wars information? You drop in and we talk about it, and I wanted to do a little bit more of this with you, Kristian, because this is some fun stuff. My hopeful news break says Sammy Murphy, first Star Wars Episode 7 poster and the Fantastic Four trailer. We can talk about the trailer. It's coming with the Kingsman.
Yeah.
So we're going to actually get to see if this is a fart box or not.
I see. I don't know. That's some people have been saying that. I don't think you're going to be able to see that because, and I've been using this example, The Last Airbender. Yeah. You see that trailer, Last Airbender, you talk about polishing a turd. You know?
That's true.
So you can, trailers, you could get an essence of what the story is, and you might come away going, oh, this actually looks interesting if they do the trailer well, but I don't think it necessarily means if the movie's good or not yet.
I think the trailer, though, will make it will make or break the decision to like this movie or not now.
Sure.
Because if you're going to hopefully see the tone in this, and like, are we going to, like, is it going to look like Chronicle 2 like we're hearing about? That might upset some fans. I might like it. I'm a big fan of Chronicle, and I'm a big fan of trying to ground that ridiculous story about a man that could stretch everywhere. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I'm a huge fan of Josh Trank and the cast. So
see, it's not for me. It's not the matter because I'm okay. I'm not being a fanboy with Fantastic Four where it's, oh, they're changing this stuff around. How dare they? Because for me, I like the Fantastic Four. I'm okay with, and I like Josh Trank. But I was okay. Let's see a change of pace. That's okay. What concerned me was because I was on board with. I was like, give it a shot, guys. It's cool. Don't worry about Doom. I think Doom looks fine. I got Toby Kebbell, for God's sake. It's going to be great. And then you start hearing all these reports and rumors about Trank not showing up on set, and these are rumors. This is by no means confirmed. This is just a speculation. But you keep hearing enough of them, you get scared. And I sat down with somebody, I won't say who, and this person's very connected and heard the same exact thing, and that he's basically, they just kind of pushed him to the side, but they made no announcement to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they're just like, fine, his name's on it. Let's just try to do as much as we can with this thing. But this person that I talked to doesn't even think that because this was such a disaster, doesn't even think Trank's going to wind up doing the Star Wars movie because he's going to get such a bad rep.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's all, again, speculation, nothing confirmed.
Yeah, it can happen, and we'll see with that. So, I'm hoping for the best. We'll see the trailer coming on the Kingsman. Let's talk about a Star Wars poster, because we love Star Wars. And guys, a lot of hopeful news breaks here about the Star Wars spinoff. We just got some names, so we'll get into that in a bit. But when do you think we're going to get a poster for Star Wars?
Summer.
Yeah,
I think summer. I think that's when you're in the blockbuster season and right around. Let Disney's going to focus their marketing right now on Ultron, and then Ultron will stop. You'll probably get the poster in between where Ant-Man comes out. Yeah, I think around that area.
I think that's a good call. And Schmoes Know broke a little scoop a few months ago that
in July.
It was July.
It was around that. So, yeah.
That Drew Struzan is coming back to do the poster. Yeah. We're pretty certain that that's happening, and. We actually had Jermaine on from Slash, and he gave us credit for that, and he thinks it's happening too. So,
it's happening.
Do you think it's going to be a poster that is a Drew Struzan, the first one, or are we going to get just a teaser? But
I think we're going to get a big one.
Okay.
I think so, because from what J.J. Abrams has done with the nostalgia purposes of this movie, I think that by the time the poster comes out, if it is indeed in summertime, it's as cool as it sounds. That'll only be about 5-6 months away from the release of the movie. So you start teasing, and because the other reason, by the way, that I think that normally what happens, I'm going to go back on that. Okay. I think the poster will come out in very early May, maybe April, because normally what they do is drop posters, and then a couple days later is the trailer. The trailer is going to hit right before Age of Ultron. Yeah, that's the beginning of May, so that's when I would guess.
Okay, that's a good call there. So let's keep moving on, because I love this hopeful news break, and it makes sense. And I'm going to butcher your name. Sorry, dude. Omer Pirin. Sorry, dude.
Own it, dude. Own it.
Own it. Okay, my hopeful news break. Antoine Fuqua officially signed to direct Black Panther.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I want to see his new movie with Gyllenhaal and see how that.
Yeah, guys, that's another news story that came out just a few days ago. We're finally got a release date in July for Southpaw.
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal looks like a beast.
He looks like an actual boxer too.
He does.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah. It looks amazing. So, as far as Fuqua directing Black Panther, Snyder and I, we talked about this when it comes to and this is a touchy subject, guys, so please know that I'm not trying to be racist or anything or whatever. But, when they announce Wonder Woman and they're like, oh, well, we got to get a woman director.
Right.
Do we need a black director to direct Black Panther? Do we need a woman to direct Wonder Woman?
Need? I don't need, no. But I think that for Black Panther, I think it would be awesome. And I think that it would make sense because of... Anybody, listen, any director could do it. What I would like to do, you want to spin that both ways. What about, and I'm going to mess up her name, and the funny thing is JTE will probably know it better than I do, is Ava DuVernay?
Yeah, Ava DuVernay, yeah.
She would be great.
Absolutely.
She would be great to do.
She would be great. And Omera, when you say Antoine Fuqua, I didn't go, oh, black director, Black Panther. I went, awesome director. Yeah, right. Perfect.
Right.
That's a fanboy talking. Now, whether or not the politics and all that, look, this guy, Antoine Fuqua, can direct the hell out of a movie. Yeah. I think he's a brilliant choice for Black Panther. So,
it could be fun, yeah.
All right, so let's keep moving. We'll do one more, because a lot of you guys want to know this. Yeah, Snyder, broke an exclusive that Jake Gyllenhaal was going to take over for Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
That fell through, guys. It looks like Gyllenhaal doesn't want to.
That scares me. You know why?
Yeah, because... I know. We're hearing stuff. So, I'm going to... Fasai Shahid. I want John Barenthal as Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
That's a good one. I like that.
That's a great one.
I like that.
That's a great one. That's a good hopeful news one. I like that. So, but let's get into the Suicide Squad, and then we'll start moving in. Then we'll drop the Ultron scoop next.
Do it.
Suicide Squad, we're hearing some rumblings. I saw Faraci tweet something the other day that he's getting... He said something that people have seen the script, that maybe it was a huge leak, and that it's not that good.
That was the rumor. The initial rumor was that with why Tom Hardy left was that he left because of scheduling.
Yep.
And he left because he'd got to eventually do publicity for Mad Max.
Yeah.
Now that might have been a little bit of a clean because the other rumor is that he didn't like the script and that he got the script and he said, "No, I'm good. Good luck."
Yeah, he didn't have a lot to do in it, I've heard.
And now Gyllenhaal gets it. Mm-hmm. And now he says no. Mm-hmm. You have to say, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't like, Snyder again did Joaquin Phoenix. That was a totally different thing.
Negotiations that just
the negotiations kind of fell through, but Joaquin Phoenix is pretty much not really wanting to be a blockbuster kind of movie guy.
Right.
That's kind of what we figured. And then right away we get Cumberbatch's Strange. So obviously it worked.
Right.
This is like where there's smoke, there's fire, in my opinion. What's going on? Like, we don't know. Yes, we want the cast. We want to know what happened, because when they announced the Suicide Squad lineup, it was pretty cool. Everybody was like, perfect.
Right.
Everything was great. Now we're hearing rumors that Batman might make an appearance in it to set up Joker, to set up the spin-off Batman movie.
Are they throwing too much into it?
If Batman comes in, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
But you don't need Batman in that movie.
And why is it now that Batman's being rumored to be in Suicide Squad after all these things? It's Warner, in my opinion, humbly. It's panic. It's throw their golden boy in there.
Yeah.
Batman is their golden boy, which initially pissed me off when they said Man of Steel 2 would be Batman v Superman. It was like, great, I'm not getting my Superman story.
Right.
I thought they set it up well in Man of Steel. I wanted to see it grow and become the Superman movie I always wanted. And instead they threw Batman in there because I felt like at the time, oh my God, Man of Steel didn't do that well. Let's do the Batman, and now I'm excited.
The movie did pretty well, though.
The movie did well, but not like...
It didn't
what I think they were looking for.
Like Marvel numbers or something. Right?
Marvel numbers, or even Batman numbers, Dark Knight and Nolan's trilogy. So I'm wondering now, because of the Suicide Squad talk and the rumors of Batman and the Joker and all this stuff, I just hope we get something good, because this is the Guardians of the Galaxy version in the DC.
Yeah, I mean, it could be really cool. And I just watched Fury again, and David Ayer really did well with that, and he works well with an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
So I want to see what they do. I hope that the script is good. I mean, I want this movie. This movie is... It's so important. Yeah. It is so important, because Batman v Superman is going to make an amazing amount of money. They could literally be eating hot dogs and watching a baseball game for 2 hours. Everybody's going to go watch it.
Yep.
But if Suicide Squad does not do well, then all the pressure goes to the standalone Wonder Woman movie, which is going to have pressure all on its own.
Yeah.
But if that movie doesn't do well and it stinks, and then Wonder Woman doesn't do well, the DC universe is going to be in trouble. So they really have to tighten up that script.
Yeah, they really do, because this is something that DC is doing completely different than Marvel. Marvel set up their characters and everybody fell in love with them, and then they did the team up.
Yeah.
This, DC is kind of reverse engineering this. They're kind of throwing everything out there first and then developing the characters.
It's risky.
It's very, very risky. Can they do it? Yes. But we'll see. So, guys, that was our hopeful news break. We got to move things along, because we got a scoop here to talk about.
Let's do it.
And again, guys, Kristian Harloff, head Schmo, is here. How do you feel about this Ultron scoop that we're about? We talked a lot about it.
I want you to break it.
All right, let's break it, guys. So we got. I have a Marvel source. That little backstory, I didn't put it in the article, which, by the way, it is up now at schmoesknow.com. You can read all about it.
And share it. Share it to all your friends.
Share it to your friends. Tweet it out there. Get it trending. Like, it's kind of a no-duh scoop, okay? But a Marvel source that I have that I trust very much has basically confirmed that Andy Serkis is Claw in Age of Ultron. That is it, guys. Yeah, you're probably going, well, duh. But you know what? When you hear it from somebody on the inside, and I tested this person. They came to me with some very interesting information that he basically told me that Doctor Strange was happening a year and a half before it was announced. And another no duh, but he's on the inside. So what happened is he basically said, look, I think this is going to come out any day now from Marvel. Might as well be you guys, but Andy Serkis is Claw.
And I think that also assumes that he's going to be in a standalone Black Panther movie.
Yeah, we're not hearing much beyond that, just that he is an amalgamation of not only Claw from the comic books, but Fritz Claw, his father, who had ties to the Howling Commandos in the Marvel comics. So there's kind of like they're kind of putting him together, and it makes a lot of sense. What do you think of this? Is it kind of a no shit Sherlock?
Well, I mean, for fans who are really in it, it's a no shit Sherlock. But for people who who are just checking casually and then find out, like, oh, okay, so and they'll do more research on what Claw is. But what it says to me is that Andy Serkis is now moving beyond just performance capture. Because he is a fantastic actor, and you watch what he's done, and even the shots that you've seen him in, he's been in 2 shots of both these trailers, and he looks menacing. And then, if rumors are correct with Star Wars, he's going to be playing Darth Plagueis.
I think so.
And so we'll see. But it's really great to hear that he's going to pop into maybe this Black Panther movie as well.
It makes sense. Look, we have the shared universe. We have, they're planning ahead. And what my source was talking about is that what's interesting, I love this email I get, okay? Because he's going into some of the backstory. And he was mentioning how Feige, that there was a Planet Hulk rumor.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning how they actually considered it, but it's ultimately not what they wanted to do. And word around the water cooler is that they have literally planned this thing out for 7 years.
That makes sense.
They're looking at, and again, we're going off of DC, talking about what they're doing, versus Marvel. Marvel is just doing it. They're doing it 5 minutes. Wow. Okay. It's really interesting to me. So guys, that is our scoop. We
and what
got
I will say is that we reached out to
do it.
Andy's representation, and they had no comment. So
usually that to me is pretty good sign.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign. They didn't completely deny it or say don't run it. They didn't do any of that.
No,
so
they just said no comment.
Yep, and we did our due diligence, so we ran with it. And then guys, I'm teasing later on, second part of the scoop. We kind of have a little bit of some information about a strong female character that will appear in Age of Ultron. What is it? You want me to do it now?
Oh, is it coming?
Remember, it's coming out later.
Right,
we talked about this.
All right.
Yeah. But this female character, Joss Whedon, did kind of tease this. And I will say this. It's a character that I went, huh? Okay? But it makes sense when we did a little backstory. Alex Welsh and I kind of tag teamed this article. He went and found some information. It will tie Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers together.
When is that coming out?
That's coming out about 3 o'clock today.
Okay, great.
3 o'clock.
Check schmoesknow.com for that one.
Yep. Check schmoesknow.com for that one. And guys, so we have 5 minutes here, so let's just talk a little bit about the X-Men casting. This broke last night pretty much.
Yeah.
I was frantically updating the website last night as the live chat was going on. The main show, everybody was wanting to talk about it. What do you think of this news that we got? Let's see. Let me go to the article again.
Stanza Stark.
Yeah.
I love that casting.
That's good casting. And I can't remember.
I liked the Ty Sheridan.
Ty Sheridan, guys.
Sheridan casting.
Mud is one of the best movies a couple years ago. I loved that movie, and that kid held his own with Matthew McConaughey.
And he held his own in Joe with Nicolas Cage. What I was worried about with Ty Sheridan was that he played the same character in Joe than he did in Mud.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is he just going to be playing these kind of, poor kids in the South, and he's just got, I want to see him do more because he's so good. And then I heard this, I was like, yes.
Yeah, guys, and I think it's really interesting that we're obviously getting, the young versions. Yeah, this is something I had a question. Is Wolverine going to be in Apocalypse?
It seems like it.
I imagine he would, because he doesn't age, and he's in that time frame, so it would work. Right. I understand we're not going to get. And Patrick Stewart the other day confirmed that he's not going to be in Apocalypse.
They didn't. They kind of
said.
I don't be surprised if they pop up in like a post credit scene or something. Sure. They could. Don't count them out completely, but they have been moving towards the focus on the first class generation. So.
Yeah, and I couldn't be more thrilled to keep seeing McAvoy McAvoy and Fassbender back. These guys are the best. Jennifer Lawrence. These are the best. And if you can now keep Wolverine in that world, I'm happy. Because this X-Men train is back on track. It's awesome. Days of Future Past, I just watched it again 2 nights ago, and I was just, oh, God, this movie's so good. Yeah, so good. I can't wait for Apocalypse. So, guys, what do you think about this casting? I mean, we got, who is it again? We got Ty Sheridan. We got Alex what? Who is it? Oh, I'm reading Twitter. We got Sansa Stark, who is Sophie Turner. And we have, Alexandra Shipp.
From what? Where's she from?
She did the Lifetime movie about. Somebody's told me last.
Never lead off in Lifetime.
Yeah, I know. No, but she was also in Drumline. She's kind of the one that is the least recognizable. But obviously, we got
something in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some good casting directors there, so it's really worked. And we're getting the wrap up here. So guys, thank you for tuning in to Meet the Movie Press. Kristian Harloff, pleasure to have you on finally. Me, and where can the good kids find you out there?
Well, obviously at Schmoes Know, or check Mark Ellis and myself out at AMC Movie Talk. I'm actually going to go straight from here over to Movie Talk. So go over to AMC Movie Theaters, I believe is AMC Theaters on YouTube, and watch the live show at 11 a.m. I'll be there. Watch the main show on youtube.com/Schmoes Know podcast every Thursday night, 6 to 8. Last night, big announcement from Finstock. Check that out.
Yeah, that was big last night. And guys, you can find me at Reilly Around on Twitter and every day at schmoesknow.com. Check out later, 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30. We're going to be dropping another Ultron scoop. And guys, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about Meet the Movie Press. Let's get us going up on that charts. Keeps the lights on. And guys, thank you very much. Check out the Schmoes Know Network and the Popcorn Talk Network for all your great shows. We will see you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Kristian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.